one point, which is this question of evil. You know, my studio, this term isn't evil. I don't know if you knew that. There is one thought, which is that ways of constructing new infrastructure, I mean, if you were to take like Naomi Klein's book, The Shock Doctrine, as a certain kind of model, or as exposing a certain kind of model, one way of dealing with infrastructure is, let's say, evil, is when fixed capital is destroyed. And this is very much a problem, a kind of classic economics problem. Investing large amounts of money in fixed capital is something that current economic models don't like to do. Larry Summers, who's Obama's chief economic advisor, has been noted as a foe of infrastructure and was probably responsible for Obama turning against infrastructure in the Stimulus Act. Thus, and the reason is very simple. You know, it's fixed capital, it sticks money somewhere, it can be very useful, but for our world of, you know, wanting constant returns, investment bankers hate this stuff. So I think that yes, there will be for that reason, for the reason of individual rights taking over, there's going to be less and less big infrastructure. But at the same time, I think that the next generation of infrastructure will be this kind of networked urbanism that's been talked about a lot. Much of it, the Sublime, if it exists, will be a kind of, like sort of almost like, you know, used to say that was that if you ever saw the YouTube video, the internet is for porn, which is like, there's sort of a mashup thing, it was very funny. But I think it used like, didn't it use South Park? It was a South Park thing. Anyway, the point is that if the internet was for porn, this is a kind of pornographic approach to infrastructure where people will become, data visualization will make it possible for the poor people who can afford to see things, like to see congestion on the roads, to see when the next train is coming, to have access to the city in new ways. And that will provide ways of, I think, of routing around the kind of damage an infrastructure takes on. I think to some degree there will be showpiece projects here and there, but I think that what we're going to see is, and I would like to see other options, like, you know, the things Bill's talking about. But I think that a lot of this is going to exist at that level, a level of a kind of networked world that's accessible also to principally the rich and to people who can afford to engage with the expense of, you know, pulling data down wirelessly into their smartphone.